Black Shuck, Old Shuck. Old Shuck, or simply Shuck, is the name given to a ghostly black dog which is said to roam the coastline and countryside of East Anglia. Accounts of the animal form part of the folklore of Norfolk, Suffolk, the Cambridgeshire fens and Essex. The name Shuck may derive from the Old English word scucca meaning demon, or possibly from the local dialect word shucky meaning shaggy or hairy. Black Shuck is one of many ghostly black dogs recorded across the British Isles, sometimes recorded as an omen of death, sometimes a more companionable animal. It is classified as a cryptid, and there are varying accounts of the animal's appearance. Writing in 1877, Walter Rye stated that Shuck was the most curious of our local apparitions, as there are no doubt varieties of the same animal. Its alleged appearance in 1577 at Bungay and Blythburgh is a particularly famous account of the beast, and images of black sinister dogs have become part of the iconography of the area and have appeared in popular culture, folklore. For centuries, inhabitants of England have told tales of a large black dog with malevolent flaming eyes that are red or alternatively green. They are described as being like saucers. According to reports, the beast varies in size and stature from that of simply a large dog to being the size of a calf or even a horse. Sometimes, Black Shuck is recorded as having appeared headless, and at other times as floating on a carpet of mist. According to folklore, the spectre haunts the landscapes of East Anglia, primarily coastline, graveyards, side roads, crossroads, bodies of water and dark forests. W.A. Dutt, in his 1901 Highways and Byways in East Anglia, describes the creature thus: he takes the form of a huge black dog, and prowls along dark lanes and lonesome field footpaths, where, although his howling makes the hearer's blood run cold, his footfalls make no sound. You may know him at once, should you see him, by his fiery eye. He has but one, and that, like the Cyclops, is in the middle of his head. But such an encounter might bring you to the worst of luck. It is even said that to meet him is to be warned that your death will occur before the end of the year. So you will do well to shut your eyes if you hear him howling. Shut them even if you are uncertain whether it is the dog fiend or the voice of the wind you hear. Should you never set eyes on our Norfolk Snarlio, you may perhaps doubt his existence, and, like other learned folks, tell us that his story is nothing but the old Scandinavian myth of the Black Hound of Odin, brought to us by the Vikings who long ago settled down on the Norfolk coast. It is Dutt's description which gave rise to one misnomer for Black Shuck as Old Snarlio. In the context of his description, it is a comparative to Frederick Marryat's 1837 novel Snarlio, or The Dog Fiend, which tells the tale of a troublesome ship's dog. According to some legends, the dog's appearance bodes ill to the beholder. For example, in the Malden and Dengie area of Essex, the most southerly point of sightings, where seeing Black Shuck means the observer's almost immediate death. However, more often than not, stories tell of Black Shuck terrifying his victims, but leaving them alone to continue living normal lives. In some cases it has supposedly happened before close relatives to the observer die or become ill. By contrast, in other tales the animal is regarded as relatively benign and said to accompany women on the way home in the role of protector rather than a portent of ill omen. Some black dogs have been said to help lost travelers find the way home and are more often helpful than threatening. Sherwood notes that benign accounts of the dog become more regular towards the end of the 19th and throughout the 20th centuries. In May 2014, a large dog was excavated at Leiston Abbey and was linked to the legend of Black Shuck. Carbon dating of the bones indicated a date of either 1650 to 1690, 1730 to 1810 or post-1920, and the animal was likely to have been interred when there was no surface trace of the original building remaining. Sightings. Appearance at Peterborough Abbey. Dr. Simon Sherwood suggests that the earliest surviving description of Deverish black hounds is an account of an incident in the Peterborough Abbey, recorded in the Peterborough Chronicle around 1127. Let no one be surprised at the truth of what we are about to relate, for it was common knowledge throughout the whole country that immediately after it was the Sunday when they sing Exorge, many men both saw and heard a great number of huntsmen hunting. The huntsmen were black, huge and hideous, and rode on black horses and on black he-goats, and the hounds were jet black with eyes like saucers and horrible. This was seen in the very deer park of the town of Peterborough, and in all the woods that stretch from that same town to Stamford, and in the night the monks heard them sounding and winding the horns. Reliable witnesses who kept watch in the night declared that there might well have been as many as 20 or 30 of them winding the horns as near they could tell. This was seen and heard from the time of his arrival all through Lent and right up to Easter. This account also appears to describe the Europe-wide phenomenon of a wild hunt. Appearance in Bungay and Blythburgh. One of the most notable reports of Black Shuck is of his appearance at the churches of Bungay and Blythburgh in Suffolk. On the 4th of August 1577, at Blythburgh, Black Shuck is said to have burst in through the doors of Holy Trinity Church to a clap of thunder. He ran up the nave past a large congregation, killing a man and boy and causing the church steeple to collapse through the roof. As the dog left, he left scorch marks on the north door which can be seen at the church to this day. The encounter on the same day at St. Mary's Church, Bungay, was described in A Strange and Terrible Wonder by the Reverend Abraham Fleming in 1577. This black dog, or the devil in such a linnets, running all along down the body of the church with great swiftness and incredible haste among the people, in a visible form and shape, passed between two persons as they were kneeling up on the knees, and occupied in prayer as it seemed, wrung the necks of them both at one instant clean backward, insomuch that even at a moment where they kneeled, they strangely died. Adams was a clergyman from London, and therefore probably only published his account based on exaggerated oral accounts. Other local accounts attribute the event to the devil. The scorch marks on the door are referred to by the locals as the devil's fingerprints, and the event is remembered in this verse. All down the church in midst of fire, the hellish monster flew, and passing onward to the choir, he many people slew. Dr. David Waldron and Christopher Reeve suggest that a fierce electrical storm recorded by contemporary accounts on that date, coupled with the trauma of the ongoing Reformation, may have led to the accounts entering folklore. Hauntings of Littleport. Littleport, Cambridgeshire, is home to two different legends of spectral black dogs, which have been linked to the Black Shuck folklore, but differ in significant aspects. Local folklorist W. H. Barrett relates the story of a huge black dog haunting the area after being killed rescuing a local girl from a lustful friar in pre-Reformation times, while fellow folklorist Enid Porter relates stories of a black dog haunting the A10 road after its owner drowned in the nearby River Great Ouse in the 1800s. Appearance between Dereham and Swanton Morley. John Harries reported that in November 1945 he was followed by a black dog, which kept pace with him at speeds up to 20 miles per hour and stopped when he stopped, as he cycled from Dereham to RAF Swanton Morley, where it vanished.